Christ.
It's been 18 months.
It's been 18 months since I stepped on stage,
It flies, doesn't it? 'Cause
Yeah.
I feel like it's not been that long.
Since you competed.
No.
I feel like it feels like ages since I did.
Yeah, I feel like for you, but I think.
Oh,
for
it has
Finn-
been ages for you.
No, it's only been a year longer for Finn than me.
Yeah, but still, that's a long time in bodybuilding.
But I feel like I stepped off stage not that long ago.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact I'm now a few weeks out, it's a bit scary.
Whereas for me, it feels like forever.
But I almost think as well, I feel like you get into it, like my first inclination into bodybuilding was, watching Finn go through a prep. Like I'd seen people prep, but never that close to me.
Yeah.
So it was almost like when you first go through it with somebody and you go, okay, this is
you wanted to do it after how bad I was.
Yeah, how hard it was.
Trenches,
yeah. Finn was just on his arse from 6 weeks out.
Yeah.
Mate, from 20 weeks out. I am now. I'm too lean now.
Yeah. So yeah, part of it. But either way, it's an interesting one because when you get into it, it probably feels like longer than when you actually get into the process. Because for me, it's been 18 months, and 18 months is absolutely flown by.
We were speaking about this earlier though. It's like nothing really changes. Like for us, we haven't really said like, oh, how are you feeling? Because we're prepping. Like it's the days are the same. We're just eating a bit less. Like you can tell when Reece is a bit battered because he's very lean, and you can just tell if he's not got as much energy. But like for a lot of people, it's like it's nice because people will ask like, oh, how's your prep going and stuff. But it's like for me, nothing. It's literally no different. Like I'm just getting a bit leaner. I'm just eating a bit less. Like but obviously towards the end, like we've said, a prep is probably a prep in the last month. Yeah. Like but
definitely.
Otherwise, it's just.
But I think there's the majority of people like make it so much more dramatic than what it is.
Oh mate, 100%. It's
social media.
Yeah.
It's attention seeking a lot of the time.
Yeah. It's a lot of people like to make it out like it is something that's completely different, and maybe it is if your off seasons are horrendous. The Josh Coggan go on holiday of a 2-month protocol, but no, in all seriousness,
buddy.
Like if you think about it for you when you start a prep, what changes other than you won't eat off plan, you're going to be doing a bit more cardio, and you're going to be moving a bit more, obviously, as a result of steps, and you'll be eating a bit less.
Yeah.
But the problem is people hype it up like
we
prep
did
this,
speak
prep
about this
that.
though, didn't we? Last year.
We spoke about it.
But we spoke about it, and we said that we actually need to almost put the information out there that it is harder than people think.
Yeah.
But exactly what you've just said is it's based on the off season. It's based on how well an individual manages an off season.
Yeah, because I feel like it's one of them where if you know exactly what to expect, you won't be surprised when it gets tough. But because it's such a slow and steady decline of like energy, fatigue, let's say accumulation, I don't feel like you ever just wake up and you're like, oh
it's
my
not
God.
one day where
it's not one day where you just go,
I
feel like I'm prepping now.
Yeah.
It's just a slow and steady process.
It's the same in off season though.
Yeah.
You get to a point like there's a certain sort of stage where you go, feeling pretty heavy now. I'm feeling a bit sluggish. My food's getting hard.
Yeah.
Like there's not one day. It just you sort of gradually get to that.
It's almost a bit like how fatigue works in the gym. Like when you're battered prior to a deload. I feel like if you were to be, let's say, going into the gym and you're like, oh, my fatigue's so high, I need a deload.
Session's going to be shit because you're thinking about it.
It's never like that. You'll be like, let's say if you've had 12 weeks or 10 weeks or 8 weeks of really productive training, those last few weeks you're going in, you're like, you'll unrack a bar and you're like, oh,
we always say your body will tell you when you
need Your sleep will drop off a little bit. You might be a bit more irritable. You'll notice a meal comes around, you're like, I don't really want to eat. And like that's like usually that slow and steady process. But I think a lot of people they look for it and it's like, I'm prepping, I should be.
What do you think in terms of like, do you think people make out it's harder than it is, or do you think for the vast majority of people it is very difficult?
I think it's difficult for people that are a little bit softer in general. So
softer in general.
Like
you were saying that you're saying people are soft in 2023.
Sorry to any of the softies.
Sorry softies. I mean, sorry guys. Yeah, like
sometimes we have to say to our clients like, just fucking crack on. Like it's hard at times. Just fucking get on with it. Like stop moaning and just crack on. Like there's times when things are difficult that you go, all right, how can we work around this? Like for example, if their work is like desk based and they're having to do overtime and like, okay, how can we work around it?
Yeah, they could do more cardio and they could say,
there's things
hey mate, can I
do.
pull my steps down, but can I do an extra 20 minutes cardio? Like
there's things you can do. But
I
think a lot of people it's just like, oh, it's hard. Like yeah, what did you expect? Like getting in stage condition is not easy. Nobody gets in stage condition just like that. Like nobody goes on the day and goes, "Oh, this was easy." Like you speak to anybody that's competed, like it is difficult. Yeah. But also it depends on how regimented you are.
I was speaking to Cuba yesterday at Rotherham. He said to me, came up to me, and
friends.
They are best
friends now since he followed me on Instagram after he spotted me on a leg press. AK jumped in with me on the leg press, and he came up to me and he was like, looking really good, mate. How you feeling? And I was like, honestly, mate, like all right. To be fair, like obviously, like tired, like as I should be at this point. I'm pretty lean. But I
All
was like, I
right
feel,
at that stage is
Yeah.
very different to all right.
yeah,
now.
I said,
Like,
I feel,
Yeah,
I said,
yeah.
feel sound. I was like, I said last time I felt a lot worse because I had to push a lot harder towards the end.
Yeah.
So when you've done a prep where you've like had to dig really hard, I think you can compare it and go, oh, it's not actually, this isn't that bad in comparison. So I said, all things considered, training's good, feel good, sleep's not horrendous. I'm not that irritable. I can just crack on and get stuff done, and I'm like relatively sound. But like I said this to Finn the other day, I like grinding my salt, just like in the morning. My arms, my hands are so tired just grinding salt. Like that's something that
I always find a good indicator of how full or how flat you are is when you just grip like that.
I thought you were going to say when you grind
When
salt.
you grind no, but if you grip like this, and do you feel like you can
Yeah.
grip? And like when you're really flat, there's
crap.
nothing
No,
there.
there's no-
like
there's
you
no-
literally just you can't
Yeah.
even grip.
Yeah.
When you're full and when you've got energy, you can like now I can grip really
Yeah.
hard. Whereas
Yeah.
I bet you're a bit like
I can't,
you're trying to
yeah,
grip,
yeah,
but you
yeah,
can't
there's-
feel.
There's
much.
not a lot there, and it's like it's funny because like I literally grind my salt. I pick my bowl up, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, like that's like just doing the action of this is challenging, and you don't realise like
But
in
for
the
you,
moment.
that's
but
like well, yeah, this is how it
normal,
feels at the
yeah,
end.
because it's
yeah.
such a slow and steady process.
But for anyone else, they'll go, "Oh my god,
Yeah,
I'm
like-
grinding my salt and
Oh,
it's
yeah,
hard."
yeah, yeah. Like I get onto like I get out the car and it's like, oh God, my legs, Jesus Christ. But that's normal because it's such a slow and steady decline. It's not just like you wake up and you're like, I can't grind salt or my legs hurt. You know?
What have you experienced like with your clients? Obviously,
Yeah.
you've like had
Yeah.
quite a lot of clients compete.
I think with my clients, or how I am as a coach, I would just be very selective. You know, like if I knew someone was a little bit softer.
Mate, be
Sorry,
careful.
honestly,
careful.
if
I know what you
someone
mean,
was
though,
to
yeah.
struggle with prep a little bit more, I honestly wouldn't ask how they are as much,
Yeah.
and I just kind of look at everything else that like we've got. So training performance, how they look, and are you absolutely knackered when you're going to bed at night? Yeah. Fall asleep on the sofa for 2 hours before I actually get in bed. Like they're better indicators than the words that are coming out of their mouth, because 9 times out of 10,
They're just gonna complain.
They're gonna feel like that all
they're
the
just
time,
they're just
anyway.
gonna let let me know that, oh yeah, I'm really grinding now, bro. I'm in the trenches. What's that?
You with the Coke? It's my
Yeah,
Coke
it's
bottle.
All right. No one else heard that.
No.
But yeah, like the guys that I've got that are a little bit better, that literally there's nothing that I could throw at them that they'd
You just crack on.
yeah
just go
they
for a
wouldn't
walk.
even think. It's just do.
Yeah.
Machine mentality, to quote Neil
But
Curry.
I do think that you can learn that.
Yeah.
Like because I think when I was probably like we've said when we've always maybe had a bit of that in us that we want to do really well. But if I was like when I was 16, 17, if someone had told me to like go through a contest prep,
Oh, yeah.
no chance.
Yeah,
Like, I'd really
I
struggle.
literally
Like
said to a client today, I was like, if I was to wake up in the condition I'm at now when I was 18, I would freak out and be like, why the hell do I
it'd
feel
be a bit
this?
weird. Like,
Yeah,
imagine.
no, but I'd be
Look how
like,
you look
no, but I mean in general, like you have every systemic feature of just feeling the way you do. You'd be like,
Yeah, but
what the
like
hell
you
is wrong
say,
with me?
it's because
You
it
know?
is such a gradual sort of decline.
Yeah.
And for you, it like now you feel normal.
Yeah.
Like if I say to you, how you feeling? Yeah, all right. But in reality, that's fucking shit.
Yeah,
Like,
all
but
things
it's
considered,
not
yeah.
because it's all right. But
Just looking at you,
But
I know you're not
literally,
great.
I've never said even when I am struggling, I would never say I'm struggling
no, I don't like to say that.
because
I won't
then
say
you
it.
think about it more.
Yeah.
Like so when like you said, oh, I get out the car, you go, oh, my legs.
Yeah.
Straight away, as soon as I will say something like that to myself, I'll
Yeah.
say the opposite, and I'll go, no, my legs are fine. I do it if I feel tired. If I go, I
Yeah.
feel tired today, I go, no, you don't.
No.
Shut the fuck up. You're not tired. Crack on. Like
I
I have to
said you
counteract
before,
it.
I don't ever yawn. You won't ever see me yawn. I'll cancel yawns. I'll literally be like trying to cancel it.
It does, to be fair.
Yeah.
I yawn.
That is some
No,
serious
it's no, it's,
mindset.
it's, I don't want to tell myself I'm tired. It's like, no, you should be present. You should be alive. You should be awake. I remember there was a Steve Cook
Fair play.
Steve Cook video when I was like 14, and he was like, when he used to play American football, he'd never like put his hands on his knees. You know, like after a sprint, he put his hands above his head.
That was
and
always
be
the
like-
thing that I was taught playing
Yeah,
football.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
put your hands on your head to help you breathe in, but it
Yeah.
also doesn't make you look
You
like
look
you're
weak.
tired.
Yeah, and I always think like in bodybuilding, there's going to be times where like you wake up and you're like, Jesus Christ. Like today I woke up and I could tell, God, I'm slow. Like legs was yesterday. I'm always Wednesday, Thursday. I'm always the most battered because it's 3 big sessions. I'm usually pretty tired. Like, and it's also coming off like 2 days worth of filling up and then back to like a baseline. So back in the trenches. So like Wednesday, Thursday, I usually feel pretty trashed, and like even Friday. But like I feel better because I haven't trained on Thursday. And I woke up today and I was like, I'm slow. I'm quite slow today, but
It's a mental
yeah,
game.
you just
though.
got to kind of go through it and think, right, just get to this time, I'll be sound. Have my little white monster.
I think
Get
literally
everything
the
ticked
best,
off, and
the
it'll
best
just go from
thing
there.
you can do is just like almost just take it each step at a time. So
Yeah.
like if you've got a good routine in place,
Yeah.
which is so important, like what's the next thing you've got to do?
Yeah.
Do that. Okay, right. Now what's the next thing you've got to do? Oh, I've got to get ready for the gym. Do that. What's the next thing? I've got to drive to the gym. Do like
Yeah.
if you just focus on the next thing. Same when you're training. Like if you're thinking, oh, I've got 12 sets to do today and I'm knackered. Like the
Yeah.
session's going to be shit.
Yeah,
Like
and
just
also,
focus on the next
you're
set.
focusing on the end, and it's like we should, if anything, appreciate the challenge in the moment of right. I've got one set now in front of me. Can I get the most?
Even
out
one
of this?
rep. We say take
Yeah.
each rep as it comes.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
literally.
don't think, oh, I've got to get 12. Like, just take each rep as it comes, make the most out of each rep, and before you know it, you probably have a decent set.